Good morning, folks. This is going to be a short briefing on flight controls in normal law and on flying the raw data ILS. When we are in the simulator, we often do these exercises and we would like to practice using the simulator to enhance our ease and comfort in flying. So let's discuss a few features of flight controls normal law. We know that the aircraft has auto trim. What exactly is it trimming? Let's discuss pitch. So in pitch, when you leave the controls, the normal law is going to deliver either a flight path demand or an alpha demand. Let's see what these two things are. Firstly, you look at the speed scale. What this tells us is that your speed is above VLS, which is the symbol here. That means the normal law is to deliver a flight path demand. All right, let's have a look at the indicators. On the PFD, you have this indicator, which is this is a symbol of the pitch attitude, and you have a second indicator, which is a symbol of the flight path. So the diagram here shows you what is the angle of attack, which is the difference between the pitch attitude and the flight path. The same diagram is replicated here so that we can discuss this more clearly. So let's take a case where we are in level flight. This is the flight path. And you bring the thrust levers to idle and leave the controls in normal law. The question is the aircraft going to maintain this attitude or is it going to maintain this attitude? So the answer is that the aircraft is going to maintain this attitude and not this attitude. So what will we find? If it's going to maintain the bird on the horizon, it will have to keep raising the pitch higher and higher. That means this angle of attack is going to be increased to maintain a new flight path. Will this continue forever into the stall? Let's have a look. For example, will it continue raising the attitude below VLS? The answer is yes. So what is the significance of VLS? The significance of VLS is that below VLS, there is no engagement of autopilot. Okay. However, if the autopilot was engaged, then it will continue down to V alpha prot. So let's have a look at what is V alpha prot. We hear that the aircraft has flight path stability and angle of attack protection. So this is the angle of attack at which the alpha is protected by normal law. Does it mean that it is protected so much that you cannot exceed? No. There is a different angle of attack which is below the visible speed scale at the moment, which is called alpha max. Okay. So let's have a look at a different diagram to see what are these scales. Okay, this is what is familiar to us from our earlier discussion. So we'll recap what this is. VLS is the speed at which we've got the angle of attack corresponding to VLS. So what happens here? This is the minimum allowed speed. Allowed speed to whom? If the automation is on and auto thrust is on, then you cannot select a speed below this for the aircraft to fly. Can you have the indicator set below the speed? Yes, you can, but the aircraft will not fly to that speed. However, if the autopilot is engaged and you bring the thrust lever back, you'll be surprised to know possibly that autopilot will fly you up to V alpha prot. That is because the alpha is not protected above at an angle of attack below V alpha prot. So this is the angle of attack is not protected. So what is protected? What is protected is your flight path. Right. Let's say going in this direction in the angle of attack scale means that our speed is reducing here. All right. So let's see what happens next. When you come to alpha prot, okay, this corresponds to a speed called V alpha prot. Looking at VLS again for a moment, VLS does not depend on the load factor, that is whether you're pulling the stick back or forward. The VLS will remain where it is on the speed scale. What about alpha prot? Alpha prot will always occur at this particular alpha because this is a coefficient of lift that is safe for you to maintain. So the autopilot will continue to fly you down to an angle of attack, which is at alpha prot, and the speed at which you will get alpha prot is called V alpha prot. Now, obviously, if you're maneuvering, if you're turning with say 45 degrees of bank or trying to pull out of a dive, then your angle of attack doesn't correspond to what it is in level flight. So when you hit V alpha prot, when you hit alpha prot, you will still be at V alpha prot. That means the speed at which alpha prot occurs will increase with load factor. This you'll see when you're pulling out of the dive after stall, or when you're maneuvering the aircraft with large amount of bank close to V alpha prot. So what will happen at V alpha prot? The flight controls will stop being trimmed. That is here. That is with stick neutral, THS is stopped. That means trimming is stopped. What are we in now? We are now in what we discussed earlier is alpha demand. So flight path demand is out and alpha demand is in. So what will happen after this? Can you reduce the speed below this V alpha prot? Yes, you can by moving the stick back. How much can you reduce the speed? Up to V alpha max. The important thing here is alpha max. It is shown to us on the speed scale only. That's why it's called V alpha max. So let's see what happens at this point. This is the point at which you reach the maximum angle of attack which the flight control system will allow you to pull in normal law. To exceed this angle of attack, you would have to be in direct law. So what happens with the stick fully back? The aircraft will reach alpha max, which will be shown as V alpha max. Like V alpha prot, this will depend on whether you're maneuvering the aircraft. So if you start pulling back, these two speeds, that is alpha prot and V alpha max, will start going up the scale as you start going up the scale in the angle of attack. Alright, with this information, let's see how we can fly a raw data ILS approach. In a raw data ILS approach, you're trying to fly the targets on the ILS scale, which is you want the deviations to be in the center to keep you on track and on the glide slope. So the lateral track is shown here and the glide slope is shown only on the VFD. So we saw that in normal law, if you leave the flight controls, the aircraft will auto trim. What does this mean? In pitch, it will auto trim to maintain the flight path. In bank, it will auto trim to maintain whatever your current bank was between 33 degrees on either side. So let's see. This is what we are seeing on the PFD in a raw data. Do we want to change in the flight path? Yes, we do. What change do we want? In order to reduce the localizer deviation shown here, we want to fly the track diamond, which is the green diamond here, to a new target. What is the new target? The new target is going to be left of the current target. That means let's say we want the track diamond to come here. What do we have to do? Put on bank till the track diamond flies to the new index and then get wings level. Let's see this process. Okay. Here the aircraft is put on bank to the left and the green diamond here is in the process of moving to where we wanted. The aircraft is turning and not yet rolled out. So our job was to select a target for the green diamond to be, which depends on our deviation from the localizer. Thereafter, turn the aircraft towards the target and roll out, and most important, we must get wings level. If we do not get wings level, the aircraft will keep turning slowly in this direction, and you would go through the localizer, and the localizer deviation unknown to you would keep increasing like this. So let's see what happens when you come on the localizer. So how do we know that we have come on the localizer? The deviation from the localizer has become 0. What do we want to do next? Do we want to maintain this track here? If you maintain this track here, the aircraft is going to track out like this and the deviation scale is going to go like this. So what do we want to do? The new targets are, we got to bring the green diamond from here to here. Okay, to do that, what do we have to do? Put on bank to the right, which is what we've done here, and the aircraft is now going to turn like this. Right. Till when do we want to do this? Till the green diamond comes on this bird. Okay. To make it easier for us, the bird has both the symbols, that is track as well as the bank. Bank, you can see clearly, is the difference between the horizon and the bird's wings. What is the track? The track diamond will always remain exactly below the bird here. So in this condition, our new target is, we just want the bird to come here and settle down below the track index and hold it here. So once we've got ourselves on the localizer and on the glide slope, all we want to do is fly the blue track index. How? Let's see from the earlier diagram. So let's take it that in this diagram, this is the track index which corresponds with the localizer center line. Okay. So what do we want to do in this case? Once this deviation has come to 0, okay, that is, now you have the deviation here, we want to fly the bird exactly as it is shown here. That is, if we coincide the tail of the bird with this line and the belly of the bird 3 degrees below, that would be shown to us by the tail of the bird being on the horizon. So if you fly this symbol now, you will remain on localizer and on glide path. So if you just able to follow these simple principles in raw data ILS, that is, first, choose your targets. How will you choose your targets? Look at the deviation, plan to put the green diamond on the side of the deviation, get wings level and roll out. Once the localizer deviation comes to the center, change the target to what we are seeing here, get wings level and roll out. If you do this, you're allowing the aircraft to auto trim and leaving your mind free to just decide what the new track you want and make sure that you come onto that track. This will give you time to configure, talk to the PM, talk to the ATC and carry out a good raw data approach. The other important thing is to know this symbology. That is, when you're on track, the blue line should be just above your bird. And the flying index now should be the bird. You fly the bird here and then monitor the deviation. Will the bird tell you what the deviation is? The answer is no. Will the bird tell you what the targets are? No. So your job is to see what the deviation is. Decide what your targets are. Make a change in your, achieve the targets. That means fly the green diamond to this place, fly the vertical speed to the place that you want, and leave the controls. After that, once again, you get back to seeing the deviation. Once the deviations are centered, that is, this deviation is here, this deviation is here. Now you have a new target. Achieve those new targets. That is green diamond in the center and vertical speed to wherever you want it. And leave the controls. Now fly this index. So this is your flying parameter, and these are the parameters based on which you will choose targets. If you carry out this quickly and easily, you will find that you will have a most relaxed raw data approach without too many control inputs, plenty of time to monitor, correct, carry out all the other duties for a raw data approach. Thank you very much for a patient hearing, and all the best for your next raw data approach.